everybody, Grizzly Pig here. Welcome to today's episode. We are revisiting our Bloodhound Fang dual wield build here. We are in New Game Plus 2. So we tried this out previously in New Game Plus 1, and in the first part of New Game Plus 2 we did use the Greatsword. After we're done with the Fire Giant here, we're going to be heading over to the Azula Farum ruins, and we're going to be hitting the Godskin Duo. We're not going to be using any summons or any kind of cheese on that, no sleeps, no nothing. We're just going to be busting out mega damage with these Bloodhound's fangs here. And of course, once we've done the Godskin Duo and see how that goes, we're going to be hitting Maliketh as well. And then we're going to be taking on Malenia. Last time I did Malenia, we were using the Blasphemous Blade, and it was pretty amazing, to be honest with you. But we're going to see how we do with this build. And we'll also bear in mind that the difficulty has increased once again. All the HP of the bosses, resistances and damage has gone up since last New Game Plus. So as usual, we're using the Raptor's Black Feathers and the White Mask here, 2 pieces of armour which help us with our damage mega amounts. I'm also using Magic Grease here just because I've got it. I'm not sure whether it does that much for our damage, but we seem to be hitting pretty hard anyway. So, and the Fire Giant's pretty easy really. Just got to make sure that you get behind him and on his foot as quickly as possible so you don't get slammed by his shield. And what's really important is that you don't get hit by fire and then get hit by his shield as well, because then you will be dead. That has happened to me a number of times. This fight can go pretty quickly if he doesn't run away too much, but sometimes it can just take forever if you're always on your horse trying to close the gap and such. So he was weak on his left foot to begin with, but now he's gone into phase 2. He's weak on his arms and his hands and his head, so more damage on those parts right there. And this is where the fire can get really crazy. Sometimes it's just not really possible to go for the hands or the head because there's so much fire around these areas here, and it's just easier to get some damage on the legs where it's much safer and just peel away at him. But unless you see me do a misclick, I am 100% of the time meaning to do jump attacks. There's nothing with this boss's mechanics that forces you into trying to get a quick attack in here or there really. What I really hate about this fire is not only does it just damage you, but it also knocks you back as well, which means we're spending less time doing damage on the boss. So in my next video, I'm obviously going to be showing Hoaraloo, Radagon and Elden Beast fight on this playthrough, but after that, I think it might be quite interesting to see what my Mimic tier can do on his own in this build. I'd like to take him as far through the game as possible. I'm going to be doing absolutely nothing just to test and see what he does. Is he going to be doing jump attacks? What's he going to do? Just an idea of mine for now. I'd love to give that a try. So now we're on the Godskin Duo, and I've got the Magic Grease on the go again, and this is a really tough fight because you've got to deal with 2 very hard-hitting mobs at once, and I used the Magic Grease again by accident there, and it nearly got me killed. So this is my first attempt at this boss here, and what the best thing to do here, if you're going to do it this way with no summons, no sleeping or anything, is try and get behind a pillar and get one of them to go one side and one the other, and then once they're far enough away from each other, like ideally at nearly a 180 from each other either side of the pillar, then just start banging out some big damage on one of them. You want to avoid being hit by both of them at the same time, and that's sometimes a bit impossible. When you need to rest up, you can see here now, again, just use the pillars. They're not always there, so the bosses are going to, when they use their abilities, they will do damage to the pillars and destroy them. So if you want to get behind a pillar, you'll have to find a new one. So just keep that in mind and keep moving about and be aware of your pillars. Keep an eye on your HP, keep an eye on your stamina. If you're less than half-life, you really want to get the hell out of there. I'm panic dodging like nothing here. That was really unskilled of me, but it seems to do the job. So the range on them isn't that crazy. So once you're far enough away, you can be pretty safe. I mean, they do the black projectile right there, and of course it does do damage, but it's not huge. And once you've got one of them down, that's really the hardest bit of the fight done. If you've got enough DPS to do this and get one of them down like this, you know that you're going to find the rest of the fight very easy. And when they come up for a second time, don't be greedy, but you do want to do big damage and just get as many hits in as quickly as possible, because if you hang about too long, you're going to end up dealing with 2 of them again. And what's interesting about the respawn mechanic is you're not actually chipping away at the HP of the mob. Once you have got the HP that's shown at the bottom of the screen all the way down to 0, never mind what the HP is of the 2 Godskin mobs here, Both of them will die when that bar at the bottom gets to 0 and you will have won the fight. I hate this roll that the big one does here. I know how to deal with it, but I just never do deal with it properly. The skinny boy here, he's got some pretty devastating attacks, but when he attacks you with his melee weapon, he's quite easy to dodge and then punish. And as you can see, they both died there when we got that final hit in. And we got a bug going on here where the big boy just respawned again. But we can just pick up the grace and then reset. So now on to Maliketh, and I've infused my weapon with a holy grease. I don't know why, since I'm guessing that he is immune to holy. But I've got it, so I'm going to use it. And as you can see here, 4 hits is going to take this guy into the second phase. We've knocked him down. I opted not to do the execute there because I wanted to carry over a bleed onto the second phase. So Maliketh has some absolutely shockingly annoying moves here, but if he's doing melee and you can get real close to him early enough, you can punish the hell out of him because he just cannot hit you when you're right up in his grill. And as you can see, absolutely huge damage. We executed him there. Job done. I think that whole fight was done more or less in 8 clean jump attacks right there. So very smooth attempt. Not my first, of course. I think it was probably the 4th or 5th. I'm not sure. And now we're going to head over to the big one, Malenia. So there's 2 things you can do with this when attacking. You can either go ultra aggressive and hit the jump attack really early when you're in the air with the hopes of staggering her out of whatever animation she's doing at the time, or you can play more reactionary and jump at her and then only hit the attack button when your feet are just about to hit the floor, and that way you'll ensure that if she does like a strafe, which is really annoying, you're more likely to be facing the right direction. So again, as you can see, I hit her 3 times at the start and got her knocked down pretty easily. And with the bleed, you should be able to get us 50%. When you do that, she's probably going to do her waterfowl dance very soon. So get the hell away from her when she's on the floor recovering after the execute. Go in at her slowly and see what she's going to do. If she does her waterfowl dance, run away. When she dives down onto you, dodge backwards a couple of times, then forwards as she leaps behind you, because that will give you more distance. I know it sounds strange, but once she jumps behind you and you roll forwards, you are actually going away from her at that point. And then when she does land and she's behind you, you just have to dodge backwards a couple more times. If she decides not to do her waterfowl dance, just let her come in on you with her melee. And when she decides to do a lunge, then just go in with a jump attack and stagger her. Here now with the flower, we're going to run backwards and to the right just so we can see what she's doing to get the timing right. As she jumps on you, time it perfectly with a jump and then just keep running. When you run from it after she's dived, just go backwards straight. Don't go to the side or anything. Just get out there as soon as possible. And when you are outside the petals and you're waiting for them to clear, then you just have to heal up if you need to do that. Get your stamina back. And what I try to do when she lands and the petals are cleared is go in with 3 big jump attacks again and just absolutely nuke the hell out of her so she doesn't use some of those really crazy abilities that she has. Crazy smooth attempts there. I find on the second phase, using the second tactic with the jump attacks where you hit the attack button when your feet are nearly hitting the ground is a bit easier to land them with, because she does like a triple strafe, almost circling around you, which makes it really hard to hit her. But if you do connect, you probably will stagger her. I find that that is how it works in the second phase, a lot easier. Anyway, I'll just show my gear quickly. If you'd like to show your support and you found this video interesting, please like, subscribe and leave a comment. And I will see you guys next time.